What does caffeine do to our bodies? It is known that Americans run on caffeine. It's found in coffee, it's found in tea, it's found in chocolate, it's found in soda, it's even found in a lot of medicines. One of the first things I do when I wake up every morning is head straight to my Keurig for a nice cup of coffee. I drink at least 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, and at this point, it's almost like I need it to get through the day. You could definitely say I enjoy coffee more than the average bear. My mom tries to tell me I drink too much coffee, but honestly I love it so much I just don't really care. That is until I have a day where I run out of Keurig K-Cups, and I have to wait till the afternoon for my first daily dose of caffeine. I notice without that morning cup, I tend to have slight headaches. Nothing major like a migraine or anything, just a very, very uncomfortable feeling going on in my head that I dislike, and it also gives me trouble with focusing on homework, even watching TV, hanging out. I just feel like I could use a little caffeine. Caffeine is pervasive in our society these days, and every few months we hear about this new crazy study that has shown all these beverages with extreme levels of caffeine and how it's either the best thing you've ever had or the absolute worst thing to put in your body. This leaves me to ask, are the benefits of being a caffeine addict worth the negatives of it not being in your system? So today, I'd like to look at all the effects of our nation's caffeine addiction and explore the possibilities of how it affects your physical and your mental state. So what does caffeine do? When people consume caffeine, it binds to our adenosine receptors, which prevents us from feeling tired or feeling drowsy. The most notable effect of caffeine, of course, is your alertness. It can help you feel more awake and less tired, and even in common ingredients to treat drowsiness. For those who drink caffeine regularly, your brain develops these receptors, so it takes more and more caffeine the more you drink to keep working. You can develop a tolerance to it within about a week. You're going to have to start drinking more caffeine. It's that easy. Your tolerance level is associated with your age, your body mass, and any health conditions you may have. Caffeine provides no nutritional value, and it's tasteless, so you really don't know if it's in your food or drink. However, it can affect your mood and cause physical side effects. So here's some negatives to caffeine. Caffeine is commonly used because of its efficiency. But first we're going to look at these downsides on inducing caffeine on a daily basis. We enjoy caffeine generally because it's a small pick-me-up. But what happens when bedtime comes around? Studies show drinking more than 16 ounces of caffeine a day, which is about a cup and a half of coffee, usually relates to poor sleep and generally waking up 3 to 4 times more than someone without caffeine in their system. Not only can caffeine lead to poor sleep, many people suffer from insomnia simply because of caffeine and they might not even know it. So these caffeine bursts that are very short of energy might be working for a little bit, but in the long run, you're going to need more and more to keep going. A major issue with caffeine is that it prompts your digestive system to produce more acid, leading to a large amount of indigestion. So you're going to be using the bathroom a lot more frequently than your average person. Caffeine could lead you to going to the bathroom 3 to 4 times more than the person without it. If you're not a very big breakfast person, a lot of times you think it's okay to replace your morning snack with a cup of coffee. And for the first couple hours, I'm sure you're generally feeling pretty alert. Then the crash comes. Your head starts to feel fuzzy and disoriented, and your stomach leaves you with this nauseating feeling of just complete emptiness. When this part of the caffeine hits, you're forced to find food, or you're probably sulking in your own misery. Tests show caffeine on an empty stomach can cause headaches to arise 40% higher compared to someone having zero caffeine in their body. And when that headache hits, there's nothing worse, and you're not going to get anything done until you get some food. Caffeine is such an apparent thing in our society that a lot of the times we don't realize how much it's affecting our day-to-day lives. Though you may not be able to compare it to most addictions, caffeine is still a very highly addictive substance. Most people consume caffeine every day. When you're used to it, it's really hard to skip a beat. But what does happen when you go a full day without drinking coffee? Generally, a lack of caffeine to your common user is going to lead to a pretty annoying headache, and on rare occasions, maybe a migraine. Many other symptoms will arise, such as feeling restless or nervous, something we all hate. Please remember, caffeine negatives effect largely depends on how much consumption your daily intake is. Most doctors tell you to take no more than 3 cups of coffee or about 48 fluid ounces of caffeine a day, or else you're going to have some pretty hard negative side effects, including your heart rate rising like crazy, to even an unhealthy level. Caffeine is not good for your heart the older you get, so the more caffeine as you get older, your heart's maybe weakening at a very, very small percentage. In Japan, researchers have shown caffeine increases your memory. Also, a newer study at Johns Hopkins University showed that a 200 milligram caffeine pill helped boost memory consolidation. So there's not just a bunch of negatives. There's a lot of good things to caffeine as well. According to the Mayo Clinic, caffeine is still considered a healthy intake for adults anywhere under 400 milligrams a day, which is about 2 cups of coffee. When you consume caffeine, your focus and motivation naturally rises very quickly, which is great for people who are driving 6 hours in a row and are on very little sleep. It works for your natural blue-collar employee who is just trying to finish some tedious paperwork, or it could help the college kid who's trying to cram a 5-page paper in a 2-hour deadline. So we've now reviewed the difference in the negatives and the positives of caffeine, how it can help people, and how it can sometimes make you feel worse. All of us consume caffeine at some point or another, and I hope you've gained a little bit better understanding of what exactly it's doing to your body. And now you can have a more educated decision on whether caffeine is the boost you need. Thank you.